4-year-old is crying in the dark. Then the crying stops. 40,000 years later, someone finds that child's jawbone and goes cold, because there are cut marks on the inside of it, the exact kind you make to cut out a tongue. Whew. You think the Neanderthals were slow, stupid brutes who lost a war to smarter humans. They survived on this planet for 400,000 years and buried their dead with red ochre and folded hands, exactly like we do. Then, in just a few thousand years, every last one of them is gone, starved, alone, hunted, eaten. And the knife in this story keeps finding the children. Why? By the end of this, you'll know all 6 things that hunted them into the dark. And the strangest one of all isn't in any cave. It's hiding in a mirror. Go back further, 100,000 years, to a cave called Tinshemet in what is now central Israel. 2 different kinds of human are burying their dead in the same ground, the same curled sleeping position, the same red ochre rubbed into the skin, the same stone tools made the same exact way. One of them is us, the other is them, and you cannot tell from the graves which is which. This is the part nobody tells you. When Homo sapiens and Neanderthals first met, they did not fight. They shared a cemetery. The archaeologist Yossi Zaidner calls it a melting pot. And these were not a sad little handful clinging to one valley. In a Polish cave called Stagia, the teeth of a single Neanderthal family, one mother's bloodline, match remains from France, from Spain, from the Caucasus Mountains. One dynasty stretched across a continent. You've seen the cartoon version of these people, the grunting brute with a club dragging someone by the hair. The real ones made glue, controlled fire, painted walls, and buried their babies with flowers. So forget the brute, which leaves a very uncomfortable question. If they were this much like us, same hands, same grief, same gods, then what was strong enough to erase them? Here's where it gets strange. For 100 years we blamed the cold. The Ice Age came, the brutes froze, the clever ones lived. In 2026, a team led by Burke at the University of Montreal ran the numbers, and the cold doesn't fit. Neanderthals had already survived ice ages far worse than this one. The land still had food. Both species had good ground to stand on. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was the phone book. Picture this. It is a black winter, somewhere in Eastern Europe. A band of maybe 30 Neanderthals is starving, ranging across a couple thousand square kilometers of frozen nothing. In the same trap, a human band has somewhere to run. A cousin's camp 3 valleys over, an ally who owes them, a web of names stretching across the continent. The Neanderthals have no one. Their world is small and getting smaller, each group an island, drifting further apart as the weather turns. And islands inbreed. We can read it in their bones now. Parents who were half-siblings, uncles who married nieces. A gene pool shrinking toward a single drop. They are not dying because they are weak. They are dying because they are alone. But loneliness doesn't leave knife marks. And the bones in the next cave have knife marks everywhere. In a cave called Goyet in Belgium, the bones are 41,000 years old, and they are wrong. Neanderthal bones, cut and cracked and peeled in exactly the same way, with exactly the same tools, as the reindeer butchered right beside them. Not buried, not mourned, processed. The long bones snapped open for the marrow inside, and when scientists test the chemistry, the victims aren't local. They were outsiders, raided, carried in. At least 6 of them, and most of them are women and children. Picture this. A raiding party comes back over the snow, and what they are dragging behind them is not a deer. Now you have your answer. The children keep turning up on the butchering floors because, when a starving band raids a weaker one, the children are the easiest to take. This is the world your ancestors are walking into. And here is the part that should bother you. Because in a French cave called Les Rois, the butcher is not a Neanderthal. The jaw of a 4 to 5-year-old Neanderthal child sits among the tools of modern humans. Cut marks on the inside of the jaw, exactly where you would cut to take the tongue. The same marks we leave on reindeer. Some of their teeth we wore. We were the monster in the dark. And as if hunger and human hunters weren't enough, something worse is already moving through them. And it is invisible. Eating the dead means eating their brains, and brains carry prions, a twisted, incurable protein, the thing behind mad cow disease. The 4 people of New Guinea ate their dead too, and got a brain plague called kuru that nearly wiped them out. We carry a gene that fights it, a tiny change in a protein deep in the brain. The Neanderthals don't have it. So the disease walks from one tiny isolated family to the next, and it does not miss. It can wait years, hidden, then take a whole camp inside a single season. The way it works through brain and nerve until a person cannot walk, cannot speak, cannot stop shaking. Now stack it all up. They are starving. They are alone. They are being raided for meat by their own kind and hunted for sport by ours. And they are rotting from the inside, with no cure and no idea why. Any one of these could end a small band. They are facing all of them at once, and then the sky catches fire. About 39,000 years ago, the ground near modern Naples splits open. The Campanian Ignimbrite, the largest eruption Europe has seen in 200,000 years, 280 cubic kilometers of rock thrown into the air, up to 250 million tons of sulfur, blasted straight into the sky. And it lands at the worst possible moment, right as the North Atlantic flips into a deep cold snap the scientists call Heinrich Event 4. We complain when one flight gets canceled by a little volcanic ash. This one canceled the sun. Temperatures fall 2 to 4 degrees and stay down for years. Acid rain, dead forests, dead herds. For a people already scattered, sick and starving, this is not a disaster. It is a verdict. Picture the last of them. A handful of families pressed into the warm southwestern corner of Europe, in what is now Spain, watching the ash drift down over the only world they have ever known. They don't know the word volcano. They don't know the word extinction. They just know the herds aren't coming back. And one day, with no battle and no last stand, just silence, the last fire a Neanderthal ever lit goes out. For a long time, that was the end of the story. The brutes lost, the humans won. Except, that is not what the DNA says. Here's the part that changes everything. Look in a mirror. If your family came from anywhere outside Africa, somewhere between 1 and 4% of you is Neanderthal. Not a metaphor. Actual Neanderthal DNA, running your immune system, clotting your blood, helping your body fight the cold. In 2025, researchers ran the math and found something almost unbearable. The Neanderthals may never have truly gone extinct at all. With every new wave of humans moving in, they simply interbred, again and again and again, until a small population was swallowed whole by a larger one, loved out of existence, not exterminated, absorbed. So the species that loneliness, cannibalism, plague, human hunters, and a supervolcano spent 40,000 years trying to erase did not fully vanish. It went quiet. It went inward. It is reading these words right now from behind your eyes. The most terrifying extinction in human history is the one that never quite finished. Because part of the victim is still you. They were the first other people, and we are the only ones left who can still remember them. Next time, the winter that nearly ended us as well. The cold that pushed our own species to the very edge of the dark. If a piece of them is still alive in you, subscribe and help keep them remembered.